Hey CEO, what if the reason your business feels a little misaligned, exhausting, or perhaps a little unclear as you move into the second week of the new year isn't because you need a better strategy, but simply because you've forgotten who you are reflecting? So today, we're talking about identity, image bearing, and why knowing who you are must come before deciding what you do as a business owner. So if you're ready to walk like a CEO into 2026 who knows who she is and who she is, then this is for you. One of the first questions people ask when they see a picture of my grandson is, who does he look like? I got to spend 5 days with my almost 9-month-old grandson over the holiday break, and it was such a gift to watch him explore his ever-expanding world as he becomes more mobile. Watch out, Mom. Sometimes I'd catch a look in his eyes that reminded me so much of his dad, and other times he'd flash a smile that was totally his mom. And then, out of nowhere, I would see his great-grandpa in him. I know, as he grows and develops his own personality, I'm sure I'll continue to see him reflect different aspects of both of his parents as he starts to imitate their words, mannerisms, and actions, because, well, that's what children do. And it's all so wild when you look at your own kids, right? Sometimes same mother, same father, but yet totally unique. In fact, we have a blonde, a light brown, and a redhead, yet all unmistakably part of the same family tree. So why am I telling you this? And what does it have to do with your time and business results? Because whose you are, a daughter of God, shapes everything about how you invest your time in the work that He has called you to do. And that's exactly why I'm hosting the Walk Like a CEO into 2026 workshop, a 2-hour workshop happening in just a few days on January 14th for Christian women business owners like you who don't want to hustle harder this year, but who want to lead their work with faith, focus, and intention. We're going to be talking about what it really means to walk in your identity as a Christ-empowered operator of your life and business, and how that changes the way you view your work, and how your faith then meets focus, and your action leads to results. And like I said, it's all happening in just a few days on January 14th. So right now, grab the link to join us live or to access the replay at redeemhertime.com/walk, or click the link in the show notes. All right, back to image. Image is a thing, right? Especially for us as women. Be honest, we often look in the mirror to see what we look like, some more than others. Am I right? Whether you're the woman who takes a quick glance once in the morning and once at night, or the one who checks every reflective surface she walks past all day long, there's something we all value about our image. And that's not a bad thing, as long as it's healthy and we're reflecting the right thing. The problem is, it's easy to walk away and forget what we look like and who we look like. And when that happens, it impacts what we do or don't do, especially as business owners. James 1:23-25 says, "If anyone is a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like a man who looks intently at his natural face in the mirror. For he looks at himself and goes away at once, forgets what he was like. But the one who looks into the perfect law, the law of liberty, and perseveres, will be blessed in his doing." You see, when we forget who we are, we drift. And drift always shows up in our time, our focus, and our results. So for the first few months of the year, we are in a series designed to help us reflect on who we are and what we do as CEOs. Because we are called to more than just checking boxes, selling programs, or shipping widgets. We are called to make kingdom impact. And that means we need to reflect often, to renew, to realign, and to re-envision what it looks like to live and lead as kingdom-focused CEOs. So today, we're focusing on identity, and 3 ways knowing who you are shapes what you do as a business owner. So let's start with who you are, because who you are has everything to do with identity and image bearing. Just like my grandson. He not only bears the last name Figgins, he already acts like a Figgins who can't sit still. Let me just tell you, he went on his first hike at 5 months old, and he has already logged a 15-mile day in less than 9 months. Yes, he has been a mover since in the womb, probably because his parents are movers. And I have a feeling he always will be. Why? He's just living into his identity and reflecting what he sees his parents doing. So before we go any further, let's define a few terms. Identity is the set of characteristics by which a person is definitively recognizable or known. An image is the representation of the form of a person or an object. You see, your identity shapes the image you reflect, just like my grandson. But what does this have to do with you as the CEO of your business? I'm so glad you asked. If you don't already know, we have redefined CEO as a Christ-empowered operator, a woman who shows up in her life and business to reflect her Creator in all that she does. So why does knowing who you are matter before we talk about what you do or the results you want to create? Because your value is not found in what you do. It's found in who you are and whose you are. Let me repeat that for the women like me who are doers. Your value is not found in what you do. It's found in who you are and whose you are. You see, as a doer and an Enneagram 1, it took me a long time to stop finding my worth in the boxes I checked every day. And ironically, learning this has actually made me more productive and more profitable because I've learned to show up as a true CEO. At Salvation, our image bearing takes on a new role. We become his disciples. And a disciple's life centers around three things: to be with their teacher, to become like their teacher, and to do as their teacher would do. That's why once we know who we are as CEOs, disciples who are stewarding businesses, it shapes or should shape what we do with our time in three ways. So if you're taking notes, start now. All right, shaping identity number 1. Being the CEO shapes our purpose. Chances are you were already doing things in your life or business before you came to Christ. You might have been serving clients or managing a home or leading a team. Now, as his disciple, those very same tasks become the means through which God works in you and through you. Jesus said in Matthew 5:16, "Let your light shine before others so they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who's in heaven." It's not about look at me, it's about look at him. But how do we know what we're meant to do? Well, good news, he made that easy. Ephesians 2:10 reminds us, we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand that we should walk in them. You see, workmanship takes time. That tells us God invested intention in making you the way you are to do specifically what he has given you to do. That's also why tasks you're tempted to avoid, like planning your week, reviewing your numbers, following up with a lead, or having a necessary but uncomfortable conversation about a situation, take on new meaning. Because when you see them as part of the good work that God prepared for you, they're no longer just business chores. They become acts of stewardship. And when work carries kingdom purpose, it becomes easier to give it the time and attention it actually needs. As Missy Branch writes in Women in Work, when he created man, part of his purpose was for us to be in a relationship with him. With this relationship being primary, everything else in our lives flows from it. Everything, including our work. All right, shaping number 2. Being a CEO shapes our participation. You may be thinking, okay, Lissa, if God prepared it all, can we just sit back? No. Did you hear the last part of Ephesians 2:10? It says we are to walk in the good works that he prepared for us to do. You see, walking implies movement, intention, action. I love that it doesn't say run or sprint in our good works, just walk. A steady, faithful pace, especially as a midlife woman whose moving fast days are mostly behind her. You see, our good works are not part of salvation, but they are part of sanctification. And that is why there's no retirement in the kingdom. There are only different seasons of walking with God. And this is where the sacred and the secular are inseparable. Your business, your home, your ministry, your health, all of it is part of the good work that God prepared for you to walk in. As Missy Branch goes on to write, what an incredible demonstration of the goodness that is present in the plans of God. He prepared good works ahead of time for us to spend our lives doing. In his graciousness, he uses us. And shaping factor number 3, being a CEO shapes our partnership. I love that we don't walk this out alone. Hebrews 10:24 says, let us consider how to spur one another on toward love and good works. One of the comments I hear often inside CEO Focus is how much it matters to not walk alone, to have others who encourage you by their words and their works along the way. You see, there's something powerful about watching another woman take a faithful step forward and realizing, hey, maybe I can do that. Community reminds us what obedience looks like in real life and strengthens us to keep walking when the work feels slow, unseen, or like it's stretching on for too long. But if fear, comparison, doubt, shame, anything is holding you back, it's not just affecting you. It's actually withholding fruit from others. As Missy Branch writes in Women in Work, a lifestyle that produces God's good works has to be lived intentionally because who we are and what we do should be revealing God and his attributes to those around us. Good works will produce in us fruit for others to experience. So, as we wrap up this episode, I hope you're seeing more clearly that your identity as a CEO, a Christ-empowered operator, is grounded in Christ, not in your output, and that your work is the fruit of your relationship with him, not the foundation of it. You see, you are his workmanship. You were chosen first to be his, and then to do this work, his work, and to walk it out. That is what makes it kingdom work, and that is what makes it worth your time. So if you want to go deeper into this with us, I would love to invite you to join us live or via replay for the Walk Like a CEO into 2026 workshop happening January 14th. Where together, we're going to unpack identity, stewardship, and focus to start producing real kingdom fruit, aka results. And before you go, here is your CEO reflection question for this week. In this season of your business, what good works do you sense God has prepared for you? And what is one action step you'll take this week to walk in them? Come think on that and act on it with us inside the Redeem Her Time community, where CEOs are moving from hearing to doing with support and systems. You can join us at redeemhertime.com/community or click the link in the show notes. Okay, friend, I'll see you over inside the Redeem Her Time community. We'll talk more about this. Thanks for joining me for this episode. Until next time, remember, instead of chasing time on a clock, trying to control it, receive the gift of time from the one who truly holds it. Because as his daughter, you have time.